Smelling great on a budget. As a lot of you know, I'm a big fan of that, and I know a lot of you are as well. So today, it's time for part 3 of 10 cheap fragrance alternatives that have you smelling great for less. Stay tuned. With this first one, this is going to be no surprise to those of you that have been following me for a while. I figured we'd start the video with one of my favorite cheap alternatives. If you like Invictus Aqua style fragrances, or even, YSL Y, the EDT, look no further than Abercrombie & Fitch First Instinct together to scratch that itch for you, because it does have a strong similarity to both of those fragrances, as well as the original First Instinct. It's kind of a little bit of all three, but it definitely leans a bit to the Invictus Aqua style. I mean, it even has a similar gradient design color to the bottle. Not a real long-lasting fragrance. I get about 5 hours, but it's very loud. Very loud. The first 2 hours, it's very well pronounced. It kind of screams off of my skin. Almost room-filling type of stuff. And you can get them really, really cheap. At Marshall's, TJ Maxx, places like that. They pop up for 20 bucks for a 50 milliliter bottle like this. $25 for a 100 milliliter bottle, which I do have one of those and 2 of these 50 mLs because I love this fragrance, and I figured it was only right we start the video with one of my favorite cheap fragrance alternatives that is relatively new to the collection, especially since the last time that we did part 2, and that's First Instinct Together. Now this one's relatively new to the collection. I did recently get it from Burlington. From Marshall's, not Burlington, and it's kind of how Abercrombie & Fitch First Instinct Together is. It's kind of a mixture of 3 different fragrances, really. So if you like Dior Sauvage and Coach for Men, kind of a cross between those is John Varvatos and Nick Jonas Silver. It kind of has a little bit of the sweetness of Coach Platinum with a lot of the freshness of the original Coach for Men, and then that ambroxan and shower gel kind of quality of Dior Sauvage. It's actually quite lovely if you like those style fragrances, and you can get a 75 milliliter bottle like this for $24.99. They're popping up at the rack stores right now around the time of the shooting of this video. Anyways, I'm not sure when you are watching this, but 25 bucks for this fragrance. Not a real strong performer. I did wear it a few days ago, and it's a 5 to 6 hour fragrance. It's not a real strong performer in longevity, but the sillage in this one's pretty nice. It does have a pretty good little trail, head turner type of stuff, because it's in the same family and gives off the same vibe and smell of the Dior Sauvage type fragrances, Coach for Men, stuff like that. Those are real strong compliment getters. This is a real strong compliment getting DNA as well. And like I said, it's like getting them on a budget, because Coach for Men you can get for a pretty good price these days. You can get this one even cheaper. Under 30 bucks will get you a 60 ml of Coach for Men. Under 30 bucks, actually 25, will get you a 75 ml of John Varvatos and Nick Jonas Silver. A very popular menthol fragrance is Woods and Spices. Wood and Spices. I do have a bottle of it as well, and so I can vouch for saying that this is pretty much spot on in a much more affordable way to smell like menthol, wood and spices. It's Nikos Sculpture Pour Homme. That crazy looking bottle that sits on the cap. Very strange, don't get me wrong, very strange bottle, but the juice is well worth it. Right around $20. Beautiful orange blossom. It's got a very strong white floral tone to it. A little woody, a little bit of citrus, but it's predominantly a creamy fragrance. That's the main characteristic of this one to me. Outside of it being white floral, it's very, very creamy, and it actually performs pretty well for its price point. For around 20 bucks, I mean, it's anywhere from 6 to 8 hours in longevity, depending on your skin, depending on if you spray your clothes, which I do spray my clothes with lighter fragrances like this. It's not super light, but it definitely gets out there in projection. So your longevity is iffy, anywhere from 6 to 8 hours, depending on your skin, maybe even less. I mean, if you got drier skin, it will drink these fragrance oils. You might only get 4 or 5. But even there, around $20 for what you get from this one, because like it's floating all around from that one spray. It's powerful. It's surprisingly powerful. If you're looking for a fragrance that makes a statement, but is very pleasant at the same time. It's not overbearing. It's not offensive in any way. It's very, very pleasant. You need to check out Nico's Sculpture Pour Homme. Like I said, creamy, orange blossom, white floral. It has an elegance and a class to it, but at the same time, it can go with a t-shirt like I'm wearing right now. Beautiful fragrance, fantastic price, great alternative to menthol, wood, and spices. Once again, that's Nico's Sculpture Pour Homme. Baccarat Rouge 540, very, very popular fragrance. There's a lot of clones out there. There's a lot of inspired fragrances. But as far as one that you can find at rack stores pretty easily, for example, my bottle that I'm about to show you, I found at Ross Dress for Less. They pop up, 20 bucks for a 1 ounce bottle. Comparatively to what you'll pay for Baccarat Rouge, it's a ridiculous steal. It's actually Ariana Grande Cloud. That's right, the fragrance that's marketed for the ladies. It's basically a sweeter take on Baccarat Rouge 540. I love the way this stuff smells. I love it so much, I actually bought a bottle of the body mist from Marshall's for $8. I have a bottle of the body mist. Now that doesn't last but maybe 45 minutes and it's gone, and you got to spray it like crazy, but it smells good. It smells really good. It smells exactly like this bottle, and I smell this floating in the air right now as well. Creamy. The best way I can describe this is if you like cotton candy, this is almost like spraying yourself down with cotton candy. It actually performs pretty well also in that 6-ish hour range, which for what it is, that's actually very, very good performance. Even a little more if you spray your clothes, you can get more in that 7-hour range, which when it comes to these fragrances that are lighter colored juice, not a heavy oil concentration, I do tend to spray my shirt as well to get that extra hour or so longevity that you can get the benefits of spraying your clothes. This one's great, fellas. Don't think because a lot of, young girls wear this and stuff like that, that it's just too girly. Get over the bottle. Get over it. Yes, it looks like a cloud. It's very girly. The juice inside, it's just a sweeter take on Baccarat Rouge 540. It's fantastic. And in my opinion, a fantastic cheap alternative to Baccarat Rouge 540. Once again, that's Ariana Grande Cloud. So Versace Eros is extremely popular. Most recently came out with the Eau de Parfum flanker. The Eros Flame flanker, the red bottle, has been gaining a lot of popularity over the last 6 months or so. But what if I told you can get a slightly spicier version that performs a little less, but still performs pretty well for about 20 bucks from Burlington? Doesn't sound too bad, does it? Guess 1981 Los Angeles. It's got a nice warm amber, a dry black pepper with basically the Versace Eros DNA. Even though the notes aren't the same, there's no denying this smells like a slightly spicier, warmer version of Versace Eros. And a 100 ml bottle, Burlington for 20 bucks. I mean, that's where this came from for $20. People are finding gift sets, slightly smaller bottles around $12 to $17. It's hard to pass up. Not the most natural smell, obviously slightly synthetic, but when it comes to these cheaper fragrance alternatives, you got to overlook some of that because you're getting to smell great on a budget. And that's pretty much what this is going to do for you. Because it has a little bit more warmth from the amber and the black pepper, that little added touch of dry spice, I would say this actually works really well as a date night fragrance. Probably the best one in this video for dates, to be completely honest with you, and one that I'm telling you, don't overlook. In my opinion, it is one of the best, if not the best, guest fragrances on the market for men right now. I haven't tried them all, so that's kind of a hollow statement because I can't back that up completely, but of the ones I've tried, without a shadow of a doubt, it's the best one, and it's a fantastic cheap alternative to Versace Eros. Again, that's Guess 1981 Los Angeles. So Azzaro Wanted, the original, not the most expensive fragrance from discounters, but still in that $35 for 50 ml, over $40 for a 100 milliliter bottle. Spice Bomb Night Vision, the Eau de Toilette, not the most popular fragrance. I do thoroughly enjoy that. That one's even more expensive. They share a similar scent DNA. Well, what if I told you for around 20 bucks you could get a 50 ml that smells pretty much just like them and performs about the same? Another one that doesn't sound too bad, right? Davidoff Run Wild. I actually really like this one. I actually prefer it to Azzaro Wanted, believe it or not. Yes, it's in the same family as those Invictus styles bubblegum openings, but it does have that spicy cinnamon dry down that Azzaro Wanted is known for. And like I said, right around 20 to 25 bucks, depending on which discounter you find it from. You can get a 50 to a 100 milliliter bottle. It's about a 6 to 7 hour fragrance for me. Some may get a little less performance than that. Some may get a little more. Does project very well. It definitely has a strong compliment getting style DNA. You can get some pretty good attention with this one because it's got that Invictus style opening, and that spice really just kind of twisted into the right direction, where you can wear this one to work. You can wear this one on a date. You can wear this with a suit. Probably would wear something a little bit different with a suit, but you can definitely pull it off, and you can absolutely wear this one in a t-shirt. Fantastic for the weekends. You can do just about everything with it. It's aquatic enough and light enough to where you can get away with it in the summer. I wouldn't go too heavy on the sprays, but the other 3 seasons, spray away. Spray away. If you want to spray yourself down 10 to 15 times, you can. Might be a little too much, but hey, spray as much as you want with this one in the cooler months for sure. And like I said, for $20 to $25, it's very hard to beat. It is an incredible smelling fragrance. It does not come off overly synthetic. One of the better releases in the last few years from Davidoff. Again, cheap fragrance alternative to Spice Bomb Night Vision EDT, and as Zara wanted, Davidoff Run Wild. So, as seems to be the theme with my part 1 and part 2 of this series, I have a different good Creed Aventus alternative each time, and I think it's only right that we keep that going because there's so many out there that I might as well highlight the ones that are even worth your time. For around 20 bucks, you can get your hands on Banana Republic Black Walnut Legend. Now, is it an exact clone of Aventus? No, absolutely not. I don't want to do exact clones. This is for alternatives. Definitely much more blackcurrant bergamot heavy. Does have a bit of an ambroxan smell, but it smells like an Aventus style fragrance. You can tell they were going for Aventus with this one. And moderate performance, 5 to 6 hour fragrance, not real strong. Has really good projection in the first hour and a half. Beyond arm's length kind of stuff. You can really grab somebody's attention in that first hour and a half. Then it does start to sit a bit closer to the skin. But you can find this one at the rack stores. It pops up at more than just Burlington, even though Burlington's notorious for Banana Republic fragrances popping up. They do pop up at Marshall's, TJ Maxx, Ross, Belk's, all the different discount rack stores. They do pop up, and 20 bucks for a 100 ml of this bottle is absolutely worth it. It's one of the best bargains as far as Aventus style fragrances that you can get your hands on, especially for ones you can just walk up to in a store, grab a box, and go check out with. You don't have to worry about buying this one online to get your hands on it for 20 bucks. That's one of the best parts about it. And if you want to smell like Aventus on a budget, this is a great cheap alternative. And that's Banana Republic Black Walnut Legend. One from yesteryear that nobody really talks about much anymore, and it's kind of a cheapy steal these days. I still love it very much. I do have another backup bottle. I have half of this 100 milliliter bottle. Creed Millésime Imperial. Very popular fragrance. And I'm not saying this is one-to-one. It's definitely a good alternative for it. It's good old Ed Hardy, Love and Luck. Yes, as you can see, less than half the bottle left. I love this stuff. This was years ago my signature scent at one point. Very, very good fragrance. Citrus, fresh, spicy. Really walks the path of Millésime Imperial without trying to be Millésime Imperial. It's very designer. It's got its synthetic nature to it, don't get me wrong. But under 20 bucks, you can get your hands on a 100 milliliter bottle. Very, very easy. They pop up in the rack stores, little 1 ounce bottles in the tube. I got a 1 ounce bottle backup. It was like $8, 7 or 8 bucks, you know. They pop up. You can definitely get them online from discounters. And look, I understand by today's standards, the Ed Hardy designs are past their prime and not cool anymore. I get that. They're kind of cheesy at this point. There's a nostalgia factor for me personally, as I'm sure for some of you out there that are watching this video, but there's no denying. You don't worry about that cap. You worry about that juice that's inside this bottle. And I'm going to spray it a little bit more because I love this fragrance. Fantastic, fantastic cheap alternative to Creed Millésime Imperial. That's not a direct clone like the Armoffs and stuff like that. If you're looking for a direct clone, that's probably a good route to go. But if you're looking for a good alternative where you're going to spend under $20, Ed Hardy, Love and Luck. It's hard to beat. Next, this is actually my favorite alternative to Raja Parfum's Elysium Parfum Cologne. So this one essentially takes that aromatic fougere, and turns it into a citrus aromatic. It removes all the herbaceous qualities from it. It's Sammy Andrus Fragrances Blue Sapphire. As you can see by the note breakdown here, it's all citruses, some pink pepper, and some leather. Labdanum and leather. Labdanum gives a leathery smell plus the leather. It turns it into a citrus aromatic. It's an extreme compliment getter. It's much more metallic and sharp citrus than Raja Parfums Elysium. I love this one. Dare I say, I even kind of like it more because it performs so much better than Raja Elysium, even though that's much more natural and it's a fantastic fragrance. But for a great alternative that's not a direct clone, another one that walks the path but kind of changes it just a little bit, Sammy Andrus. This is, if you're to buy one fragrance from Sammy, it's definitely Blue Sapphire. It's been my favorite for a long time now, and it will continue to be my favorite because it's a damn good fragrance. I have multiple bottles. I've put a good dent in it. I have 3 bottles of it. I don't plan on running out anytime soon. I wear this much more than I wear the real deal because I do have a bottle of the real deal. But for around 25 bucks, it's kind of hard to beat in my opinion. My opinion only. It's the best cheap fragrance alternative for Raja Parfums Elysium. Sammy Andrus Fragrances Blue Sapphire. Now this last one, depending on how you look at it, it is a cheap fragrance alternative because what it's an alternative for is outrageous if you want to buy a discontinued bottle these days. The discontinued bottle I'm talking about is Giorgio Armani Acqua di Gio Essenza. I've never smelled the original, but I hear this is a great alternative for it. And I can tell you, based on my time with this fragrance, as a standalone, it's incredible. I got this for around $46 from fragrancebuy.ca. Bentley from Men's Silverlake. You see all the fingerprints. It's a gigantic fingerprint magnet. That's the downside. I recently did a full review on this one. I love this fragrance. It smells great. Man, as a standalone fragrance, not even considering it as an alternative to Essenza, it's awesome. I've seen a lot of comparisons to Profumo. I don't get that. It doesn't have the smoky nature or the heavy patchouli that I get from Acqua di Gio Profumo. I don't understand that comparison at all, just my opinion. But it does smell like Acqua di Gio. It smells like a very, very strong, newer version of Acqua di Gio, which I'm assuming is what Essenza was all about. And this one is fantastic. Performs extremely well. The amberwood in this one really helps it project. It's a strong, attention-grabbing type of fragrance because Acqua di Gio style fragrances are compliment machines. That's just what they are. Acqua di Gio is a compliment machine. This is a stronger version of Acqua di Gio. And it's much cheaper than Acqua di Gio, let alone the overpriced and discontinued resale price of Essenza. So definitely a great alternative if you're looking for that style fragrance or that scent DNA and that performance on a much bigger budget than what they cost. They're at some discounters. Keep your eyes peeled for Bentley for Men Silverlake. Well, that's the 10 I have for you today. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback and I love hearing from you guys. How many of these have you tried already? It seems to be a very popular series, so I'll keep it going ever so many months. As I get new cheap fragrances that end up being really good and alternatives, really good alternatives on top of that for more expensive fragrances, we'll update the list from time to time, because from the feedback I get from you guys, you love this style video, and I love bringing you content that you enjoy watching. And because you know I love smelling great on a budget, and I like giving you my recommendations on what I feel is a great way to smell good on a budget. Until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of the 10 fragrances in this video, you give them a spray now, I'm really confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.